We've all been there, that really frustrating feeling of just being stuck. Maybe you're trying to learn a new skill or get ahead at work, and your progress just flatlines. Well, in this explainer, we are going to pull back the curtain on those invisible barriers that hold you back. And more importantly, we're going to give you a practical way to break right through them. Let's get into it. Right? It's that feeling. You're putting in the work, you're practicing, you're trying to move up, but you've just hit a brick wall. Progress grinds to a halt, and honestly, it's enough to make you want to give up. You just feel like you're spinning your wheels and getting absolutely nowhere. But here's the secret. Most of the time, this isn't about you not trying hard enough. It's not about a lack of talent. The real culprits? They're these invisible little glitches, these cognitive biases that are basically hardwired into our brains. They're mental shortcuts that get in our way without us even noticing. So to really understand this, we've got to start with the hidden traps that trip us up on an individual level. These are the mental shortcuts that, they're often helpful, but they can also seriously stop our growth dead in its tracks. Okay, first up is something called the availability heuristic. This is basically our brain's tendency to think that if we can remember something easily, it must be super important or happen all the time. Our brain kind of confuses easy to recall with frequent or true. And here's that bias in action. You hear one dramatic, vivid story about a shark, and suddenly your brain blows the risk way out of proportion, even though statistically it's incredibly rare. And this isn't just about sharks, right? It's the same thing that stops us from trying a new strategy at work, just because we can clearly remember that one time it didn't work out for someone else. All right, on to the next trap, confirmation bias. Oh boy, this is a big one. It's our natural instinct to look for proof that we're already right, while totally ignoring anything that suggests we might be wrong. It turns learning into this exercise of just protecting our own ego. This is just a perfect everyday example. When we do this, we aren't actually learning anything new. We're just building ourselves a cozy little echo chamber. And that's how we get stuck, completely unable to see better ways of doing things or adapting when our way isn't working anymore. But here's the thing, these glitches don't just mess with us as individuals. Oh no, when you get a bunch of us together in a group, these personal biases can actually multiply, leading to massive blind spots and, even total team failure. It's like a ripple effect. And you can really see here how the problem just gets bigger and bigger. It starts with us, right? Individual biases. But then in a group, new ones pop up, like shared information bias. And then at the whole company level, things like overconfidence and sticking to old routines can just completely slam the door on any new learning. Let's zoom in on a really important one for teams, shared information bias. This is what happens when a team just keeps talking about the stuff everyone already knows, because it's easy, it's comfortable, but the danger is huge. The unique, maybe even critical information that only one or two people have gets totally ignored, and that leads to some seriously bad decisions. Okay, so our brains are tricking us, our teams are making it worse. It sounds pretty bleak, I know, but there is an escape plan. Let's dive into 3 really powerful ways you can reboot your learning engine and your teams too. And the framework is actually pretty simple to remember. Intervene, induce, and inquire. Just think of these as 3 different tools you can use to debug your own thinking and your team's process. First up, intervene. This is all about consciously snapping out of autopilot. A great way to do this is with a pre-mortem. Before a project even starts, you get the team together and imagine it has already failed, like spectacularly failed. Then you work backward to figure out why. It totally forces a fresh perspective. Next, we have induce. This one's a little more subtle. Instead of forcing people to learn, you design the environment to make learning the easy, natural choice. This is all about nudging. For example, you could create a specific chat channel just for sharing smart failures, which makes it totally normal and even celebrated to learn from mistakes. And finally, inquire. Now, this is the long game. This is about building a culture where curiosity is king. It could be as simple as starting your team meetings by asking, hey, what's one big assumption we're all making here that might be totally wrong? It gets reflection and questioning to become a real team habit. So you might be thinking, okay, this is interesting, but why does it really matter? Well, because breaking out of these learning traps isn't just some mental exercise. In the world we live in today, it is absolutely essential for your career growth. Just look at this number.
A staggering 94% of business leaders expect their people to be constantly picking up new skills. The whole game has changed. It's not enough anymore to just do your job. You have to constantly be growing in your job.
And the payoff is real. You can actually see it. The data here is crystal clear. Continuous learning pays. Certified pros can earn up to 20% more than their peers, and people who just dedicate a few hours a week to their own development see similar gains. Simply put, learning literally translates to earning more. So let's bring it all home. Understanding and getting ahead of your brain's hidden glitches, that's the real key to unlocking your potential. It's the practical skill that sits underneath all the other skills, allowing you to adapt, to grow, and to become way more valuable in your career. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. What's the one bias you are going to actively challenge this week? Maybe it's questioning something you think you know for sure, or maybe it's seeking out a different opinion on your team. Whatever it is, taking that first little step is everything. Go get 'em.